High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily, and welcome into our special edition of National Signing Day, actually early National Signing Day. I'm Najeh along with Craig Sager. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We have a fun-filled 2 hours. We're going to go through the state, find the latest flips. We're going to have Rusty Mansell, recruiting expert, and we're going to talk to him as well. But a couple guys are going to be on the show today. Turner Davis, he's going to be our first guest. We're going to have Jeremiah Ticket on as well. 2 in-studio commitments from Tojuan, Peyton Jr., and also Tomas Hernandez. And then we're going to have so much more coming up. But Craig, before we bring on Turner, I know his time is limited. How you feeling today? National Signing Day. Last year we were in the cold.
Yes,
and we were doing it. It was a lot of fun. But just what's your thoughts this year? Studio and everything and being here.
I'm really excited. I want to get your take, though. This early signing day, lots of flips, a chaotic college football season. What stood out so far?
I think the latest one right now for me is Lagonza Hayward going to Florida. I think just what he can do, the specimen that he is, how elite he is at the safety position, that he could play different sides, and he's going to be able to play multiple in that Florida defense. When you look at the safety, the strong safety, the free safety, the slot, I think he's going to be able to play all over the field. I think he's going to have a similar impact to what Bryce Thornton is having right now. That would be my biggest one right now.
And, well, yeah, you compared him to Bryce. I think that's a good comparison. Do you think that in this package he was pretty much promised an early opportunity, even though it's at Florida?
100%, and they just actually flipped Hilton Stubbs as well. But, yeah, I think he's going to have some early playing time, and he'll get to compete and battle early on.
Awesome. And then, obviously, there's some that have been committed that we're waiting for that signed check mark. We'll see if there's any flips, but it's already been pretty hectic so far, and I'm excited for these 2 hours.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's bring Turner on for him to announce his decision. Okay, but we're still waiting on Turner. Okay. All right, I think we got him. All right, there he goes. What's going on, Turner?
What's up?
What's up, my guy? Look, I know you got practice, man. How's everything? How's this day been for you so far, early National Signing Day?
It's been exciting. You know, it's been great. All the texts and calls I've been getting, so it's pretty good so far.
100%. Now, before we get into the commitment and everything, I want you to kind of walk through a little bit of your football journey, how you got to this point. I know your story, Turner, but you just, started playing football. I think it's only been 2 years. So I want you to talk just a little bit about that, transitioning from a whole new sport, I think it was basketball, correct me if I'm wrong, to football. How's that journey been for you and being able to go play D1 football after just picking up the sport not too long ago?
So to start, based off my journey, I was a basketball kid up until my sophomore year, and I switched to play football junior year. And it was a smooth transition, I would say. Just always putting the work in and having the coaches and the other players, my teammates, believing in me. So I'd say it was a pretty good transition for me.
Now, for you, Turner, talk a little bit about just the impact that defensive coordinator P.J. Hughes had on your career as well, helping you get prepared and helping you make that smooth transition.
I love Coach Hughes. That's my guy. I say he's helped me just always being able to talk to him about literally anything. I'll text him no matter the time. He'll answer in 5 minutes with a response. So he's been a big part of, my career and how much I've grown in these past couple of years.
And then, Turner, are you just as talented defensively on the basketball court?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. It transitioned over.
It did. All right. And then I see you have quite the wingspan. You're a great athlete. So what's next just as you prepare for the college level? Obviously, you guys are still in the thick of it this season, but where do you see yourself at the next level just developing?
I definitely say I need to get stronger to the next level. And then, just basically getting stronger, filling out my frame, and then refining my footwork.
And then I see you've gotten involved somewhat offensively. How fun has it been this year just being on North Cobb Christian, a team that's kind of the new kids on the block, making a lot of noise, and just being a senior, being able to experience this run?
It's been great. I wouldn't say I'm surprised to be here because I knew we had something special in spring football. And, just going through summer with the guys, it's been an amazing time to play with these brothers I have.
And then you picked up football. So when did this recruiting process really start for you?
I say summer, going this summer, this year. After spring football, definitely.
Now, Turner, let me ask you this. I want to kind of go back to the Savannah Christian game. You had the game-sealing PBU. Your teammate picked it off. What's going through your head? Walk us back through that play. You making a big-time stop to help punch your team's ticket to the semifinals in a berth against Prince Avenue Christian.
Yeah, so basically they haven't thrown my way all game, so I'm thinking they're not trying to throw it for game. But then I see the receiver's eyes, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm finna get this. And I seen the ball, I got it, and my safety, Brody Archie, he picked it off, and we sealed the deal. It was just an amazing moment for me.
100% Turner. What was it like being in that game? I mean, you're a heavy underdog. Y'all went in there, y'all battled. Teddy Gerard had 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. The defense played well, was creating pressure. Ray Dixon had 2 sacks in that one. Spears Martin had 11 tackles. Talk about that defensive effort and being able to slow down a really good tailback and a really good offense.
Like you said, yeah, we were the underdogs. We weren't projected one on any website, so just having that chip on our shoulder, having that mindset really helped us, key in on our assignments. And I want to say Teddy was a great leader through that game, just involving everyone, talking to everyone, getting everyone's spirits up. So, yeah, he really helped us do that.
And then, Turner, in terms of your development this season, I feel like the entire team's kind of gotten better, improved throughout the year. But what have you seen from yourself just this many games into your senior year, just how you've been able to improve throughout it?
Confidence, for sure. Confidence. Just, being able to look at the guy across me, knowing that I work harder than him. Confidence.
100%. Well, all right, Turner, we're going to give you the floor now and let you announce the decision of where you're going next. I know where you're going, but let the audience know where you're going next and why you chose this program.
Yes, sir. So for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be going to Charleston Southern University.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Sir.
I love
Yes, sir.
it. All right, so Charleston Southern, breaking news right here. That is where Turner Davis is going next. So I want to ask you this, Turner. I did see you at a game at Georgia Tech. You was there, just probably watching it, a real good Thursday night game, I think, with NC State. Just talk a little bit about how the recruiting happened. You were a former Air Force commit, so let's start there. What happened with Air Force? Why you decided to commit and reopen up everything?
The main reason I decided to reopen up everything is just how far it was from my family. I've never been that far from my family. That was the main reason I decided to open up again.
Got you. And then talk about the relationship you was able to build with this coaching staff at Charleston Southern. What was those conversations like? What did they kind of show you of why you should kind of commit to that school?
Yeah, so over the past few weeks, I've built a great relationship with both coaches, all the coaches there, especially Coach Bush, the corners coach, and they just made me feel like at home when I went on my official visit. Made me feel like family, like if they've known me for years. So that was the main impact they had on me.
Got you. Now, how do they kind of see you fitting into that scheme? Now, you're kind of like on a high school level, you're a boundary corner. I've seen you've been moving around when I watched your film a little bit all over. How do they see you fit? Are you going to play kind of just multiple positions, or will you be kind of primarily that boundary corner?
Primary boundary corner. Stick to the boundaries.
Okay. Got you, man. And then just talk about the relationship you was able to build with obviously the cornerbacks coach and then Coach Maurice Duncan as well.
Yeah. They continue to call me. We have a great relationship. We text all the time, calling all the time. They're very close with my family and my parents. So just building that relationship was crucial for me in ending up signing up today.
Real quick, Turner, when did you kind of get in your mind that playing college football was something not only you could do, but you really wanted to do? And then what are you looking forward to most?
I'd say after my junior year, I realized I can actually do this kind of thing. So I put my head down and grinded for my senior season. And then, what I look for most is playing in front of a crowd, playing college football.
100%. I'm going to let you ask another question, Craig, but I want to ask you this, Turner. For those that have similar journeys to yours, it's not easy to transition from one other sport to what you just did and be able to go play D1 football. Just talk a little bit about what your advice would be to them in order to kind of achieve the same thing you were able to achieve in your high school career.
My advice would be to some kids, on the same journey as me, just put your head down and grind. The first few months, first year might not be good, but if you just put your head down and grind, you'll get there for sure, and just stay confident through it all.
And then, Turner, looking at your film, I've seen you've been able to get in the backfield, be aggressive if you need to. The tackling looks like you've really been working on that hard. So has tackling been something you feel a lot more confident in?
Yeah, for sure, especially from last season. I'd say that was the weakest of my game last season. And then just honing in on the details on, technique and stuff for this offseason has definitely led me to being a better tackler and a better rolling tackler and being able to get into like you said, get into that backfield and making plays.
All right, last one. We're going to let you go. To give a message to Charleston Southern faithful. What are they getting in a player like you?
Charleston Southern fans, y'all getting a dog. Y'all getting a lockdown corner.
100%. That's it. All right, Turner, man. I know you got to get to practice, got to prepare for Prince Avenue Christian. We appreciate you spending these 10 minutes with us and breaking your decision here on the show. I appreciate you, man, and wish you nothing but the best going forward and at Charleston Southern.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. There goes Turner Davis. Coming up, we're going to have Jeremiah Tickett in our next segment. Not sure if we're taking a break yet, but just what's your thoughts on him and his game? Just being able to transition. I mean, like I said, had the game still in PBU. Kid's been explosive all year. I've enjoyed watching him and learning his story when I got the chance to see them in the spring and talking to Coach Jones and Coach Hughes, and they just raved about this kid.
Yeah, the athleticism's off the charts. His frame is ideal for, I mean, what he said, 3 or 4 years. I mean, he has a ton of potential, and for him to start playing his junior year, get on the radar, and then be able to become a top prospect like that just shows he was able to grasp the game quickly, buy in. He's very coachable, obviously, and I think, yeah, the sky's the limit, and I can't wait to see what they do against Prince Avenue Christian this week.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You got a quick pick here or no?
I haven't made those picks yet. We'll be back for tomorrow for those.
All right, coming up, I don't think we have them yet. But let's talk a little bit about Jonesboro football. We're going to have on Jeremiah Tickett, who is going to make his decision here in a couple hours. We're not going to spoil it, but we do want to have a conversation with him and talk to him. But what were you impressed the most with this Jonesboro and what they're able to accomplish this year? I thought with, some of those players leaving that core 2024 class, I thought they played really well. Beat Stars Mill in that game I was able to go to and really battle hard and held Blessed Trinity to 5 field goals and just 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that's right. They only had 1 trip to the end zone in that game. If you watch the film, it was just how disruptive he is. Obviously, you saw him against Stars Mill. He was able to go in the Wildcat, score some touchdowns. Very exciting player. And, I mean, really impressive. He's a huge guy, but he's light on his toes. He's got great spin moves. He's a huge force defensively, but seeing kind of the nimble running, the power, his ability, once he wraps you up, he takes you straight to the ground. He is a very exciting player to watch.
Yeah, I agree, Craig. I mean, seeing him up close and personal, when I seen him compared to junior year, compared to now, I felt like he took that big step with just being able to kind of have those violent hands, being able to knock somebody off, using his power and getting into the backfield. And like I said, Stars Mill is a tough team to stop. When you look at Logan and Nagua and what they were able to do this year and how much they like to run the football, and they keep you disciplined. It's similar to a Cedartown type of system where you're running a little bit of a wing tee, you're running the ball a lot. You got to keep your eyes disciplined. And I thought all year long, and even in that game, he did a good job of that. And he's just been a beast, and he's gotten better and better throughout his career, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in the run stopping, I like the way he has his initial punch, and then he's looking where the running back's going and getting off the blocks. But even in the pass rush, Jonesboro did a good job. They're coming from the outside, but then there's nowhere for the quarterback to go. He is throwing his guy off him. He's getting to the quarterback. He's chasing guys sideline to sideline. I just think he's really fast, and I think the size is a big factor.
100%. Well, let's talk a little about this, Craig, while we wait for Tickett to get on. I'm going to reach out to him here in a second. But what was the team maybe I believe Jonesboro's 4A. What was the team that surprised you in 4A this year?
In Class 4A that surprised me? That's a great question. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Creekside. I thought Creekside lost a lot of talent from last year. I did not think they would be this dominant defensively. I know that sounds crazy to underestimate them, but I think a team like Creekside, yeah, they're in the Final Four, but they are very capable of making that run, and I know no one wants to play them at this point.
Let's go on that point real quick while we wait, Craig. You were high on Creekside all year, and you said, even when they lost to DeSoto earlier in the year, you said, hey, don't count them out of what they can do, even though they had those 2 out-of-state losses. And you said, this is going to be a team, when it's said and done, going to be there. And they're in the Final Four. They're going to play Marist. Why did you have so much confidence, and why did you know this team would be so good?
Well, I knew just the goals and expectations they have for themselves, but to see the level of play from that defense week in and week out, the fact that they shut out Eastside in the last round, I mean, I did not expect that. I expected them to potentially win that game, but it's kind of blown me away just how talented they are, and they'll be, obviously, next year when the season opens in Class 4A, they will not be unranked, I believe, in any of the polls. They will be on everyone's radar.
100%. I think we have Tickett ready. Great job by you, Craig, and being ready. All right, so I believe he's here. Just got to get him to unmute and come on. I believe he's getting himself together. Tickett, there we go. What's going on, Jeremiah?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How's everything?
Well, good, going great. In gym class right now. Had to step out. It's too loud.
Got you, man. I appreciate you doing that, man. I ain't going to take too much of your time. I know you got a big day coming up. You're signing today. Just talk about just going through this recruiting process, Ticket. I was officially at your commitment when you made it back at the Jonesboro Media Day. What has this process been like from that point?
It's been hectic, very hectic, especially these last few days after this Georgia Southern visit. Really got me thinking.
100%. And then, Ticket, let's go to the field real quick. I want you just to talk a little bit about your play. I feel like this year you dominated even more. You were able to be more violent with your hands, Ticket. You was able to make big plays in the backfield. I watched your game. You had the game winner against Stars Mill. Talk about where your game you feel like progressed the most this year.
I really just say all around my defense, like just being better D tackle. It was all the off-season work I did with my coach. But clearly I was being used a lot more around the team offensively. I felt like that was great because now college coaches know they can use me on offense or wherever they need me for.
100%. And then I want you to talk just a little bit about the impact that Coach Carmichael, Coach Sherb just had on your career. I know he promotes you guys very much, always getting you guys out there. What impact has he had on just your career, your high school career?
Oh, he's had a big impact on me. He's helped me get to where I am today. He's been there from the jump when I first got to Jonesboro, and he's still with me to the day, helping me choose what school I'm going to be signed to today.
100%. Now, again, I don't want to reveal this decision, but what are some key things you're looking for when you make this decision in a couple hours of where you're going to go next? What are some key factors that stand out to you?
Obviously, a coach step that really, truly wants me and loves me and can take me in, and a coach step that can help me get to where I want to be in the future as far as, possibly playing in the NFL and in school that can help me get my education.
100%.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And then, Jeremiah, when we cover Jonesboro, I feel like you guys take a lot of pride in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. Just how has that helped you prepare just going up against those guys in practice every day?
Oh, it's good because I feel like we really got one of the best in our region. So going up against them every day, knowing they're trying and helping us, making us better, preparing us for the game is really helpful. And I thank them for that every day.
And we mentioned earlier the Blessed Trinity game. You guys played outstanding, held them to just one touchdown, ended up coming up short, but it was a really great season. I mean, I know it was a tough loss for you, but what was just the overall takeaway with what you guys were able to accomplish this season and be able to make the run you did?
I feel like we really came together as a team, especially from the beginning. First, or the second and third game, those were tough losses, but we figured ourselves out, came back together, and just came together as brotherhood. That's really what got us to, obviously, the second round and, trying to fight for the rest of the game.
And then your highlight tape, it starts with some offensive plays that you were able to make. Najeh was at the Stars Mill game. It was pretty incredible. And then I really like that spin move you had against Blessed Trinity. I think that was Amante Pitts was coming up the middle. You were able to get off the block. I mean, how deep is your skill set of moves? Looks like you can pretty much surprise people with a lot of different tricks.
Yeah, it's pretty big. And I want to thank my defense line coach, Coach Pat, for that because he's really helped me with all my moves. And his bag is going to keep getting deeper as I get into college. So.
And then, Jeremiah, I want to ask you, got about 2 minutes left in the interview before we let you go and get back to class. I want to ask you just the legacy that you guys have left, not just this class, but 2024. You guys have built something special at Jonesboro, and a lot more eyes are on you guys now. Just talk about leaving that legacy for these upcoming younger guys and just being able to motivate them and showing them the right way to do things.
Yes, sir. I feel like we most definitely left a big legacy, showing them that, you got to stick with what you're doing, always be consistent, and most definitely stay in the classroom. Most of my guys, 25 and 24, were always in the classroom. Stay consistent with the football stuff and consistent to the coaches, working out, all that. So really consistency is key on the field and most definitely in the classroom.
100%. Last question before we let you go, Ticket. I want you to tell the future school you're going to commit to in a couple hours. What are they getting in a player like you? Why should they be excited they're landing your services?
They get a dog. I'm that one. So whichever school I'm going to, they should expect something big, be able to use me wherever they want to use me.
100%. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. I know you got school going on. Good luck with the finals coming up, man. And it's been so much fun covering your journey. Shout out to Coach Syrup as well, Coach Carmichael down there in Jonesboro, setting this up for me, man. And Ticket, I'll see you soon.
All right, appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, there goes Jeremiah Ticket Jonesboro announcing his decision at 4 p.m. of where he's going, so stay tuned for that. All right, coming up, we will have Alexander Ward's commitment, and we will have Max Waborski on to talk a little bit about the latest flips that's going on here in the state. So stay tuned right here on Peachtree Sports Network.
Nobody wants to hear the word roaches because who wants to admit they have roaches?
I actually found some weird roaches. I didn't know what they were. I decided to choose Breda. I reached out to them. They check in routinely. They're explaining what they're doing. So there's a lot of clarity in the process as well. I think that just speaks to the level of safety that I feel with the organization.
The facts are, roaches are everywhere in our environment. So what are you doing to keep them out of your home?
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know, just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Basic combat training is a 10-week experience that will challenge you both physically and mentally. Each phase of your training will introduce you to new soldier skills, building and advancing them along the way. You and your fellow soldiers will work as a team to accomplish each mission, overcome each obstacle, and earn the right to wear the black beret of an Army National Guard soldier.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. So we're excited to be joined here momentarily by Alexander Ward, outstanding athlete from Walton High School. Had a pretty good year for the program. They made the first round of the playoffs. He has a great brother as well, Christian Ward, who's also phenomenal. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Alex on in the fam. What's going on, y'all?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So, Alex, you're making a big-time decision today on where you're going next to school. Kind of talk to me about some of the things you looked for when you were making this decision on where you're going to play your college ball next.
Really just like how the coaches develop their players and everything, just teaching them to be great young men as they get older and them helping them try to reach their goals and everything.
For you, Christian, for you, Alex, how important is it for not just to be developed on the field, but also off and you know, having that opportunity to have something outside of football when it does eventually end?
Really, it's like, because football won't be here for long, so I take it really very important. So just being able to teach me how to be a man and just operate in the outside life as who I am.
100%. Now, before we get into you committing, I want you to kind of shout out Pops a little bit. Obviously, your brother, y'all have had your battles back and forth. How have they been able to develop you to get to kind of this point where you at today? I know you still got a lot of developing to do. I know you're not satisfied, but talk about how they've been developing you to this point.
Man, since we were little, we used to go at it. Him, just every single day, just nonstop going at it and just fighting with each other, just making each other better. So it's been a great experience. My dad used to work us out every morning, running hills, running stadiums, like just pushing us to our limit to have us be successful as men and just football players and helping us reach our goal.
100%. Who's the best out of the three?
You look, hey.
Hey, I had to ask. I know everybody gonna say me, so I had to ask little bro. All right, man. So look, we're gonna get into everything with the commitment and where you're going. I want you to go ahead, just think anybody want to think, and just officially say where you're committing, and we're gonna dive all the way into it.
Yes, sir. I want to thank God first and foremost, and I want to thank my mom, my dad, my brothers, my aunties, my grandpas, and my coaches, my teammates, and my mentor, Josh Norman, and then as well, Coach Mill. So without further ado, I'll be committed to the University of Alabama.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. Yes, sir. So the newest Alabama Crimson Tide. Before we get into Bama, you talked about your mentor, Josh Norman. We've seen what he did on the gridiron on the NFL and how successful he was. I think he won multiple All-Pros. Talk about him and how he's developed you at that cornerback spot for you.
Man, he's been helping me a lot, just understanding the game and really letting me know that it's really like your mentality and your IQ and everything. It's really not about how athletic, because everybody's going to be athletic when you get to the college level and NFL. So he's really like focused on the IQ part of it. So he's been helping me out a lot.
Now, I want to ask you something about Alabama. I think I was watching an interview of yours, and you talked about how important brotherhood is. Now, we know starting quarterback Jalen Milroy, he preaches the same kind of thing, and I know link is very important. But talk a little bit about the brotherhood at Bama. What made you feel so comfortable there?
Just them fighting for each other, and no matter what the score is, and them putting in the work each and every day with each other and trusting each other and just building a brotherhood and life after football, and everybody's still in contact with each other, coming back, watching each other, and just putting in the work each and every day just to build on their team to become the best possibly they can be and just competing every day with each other.
All right, Alex, now let's talk about scheme fit here a little bit. You're an athlete for Walton. You're playing both sides of the ball, and you're torching defenses on both sides. So how do they kind of see you fit into the program as far as that? And will you play both sides at Alabama?
Yes, sir. They're really just getting me on the field. So wherever they gonna need me, that's where I'll be playing. But
Gotcha. Now talk a little bit about your relationship with co-defensive coordinator Colin Hitchler and Maurice Linguist. How important was that for you in this decision?
It was very important. Just him coming, Coach Mo, just coming and talk to me, saying it's all about trust. If I can trust you, and if you can trust me. So him really putting like a trust factor in us, building a relationship as each and every day, just him talking to me and communicating with me and letting me know that I'm going to be here and I'm going to coach you and I'm going to develop you as a player and help you reach your goals.
Now, let me ask you this, from kind of watching and viewing point, how cool is it to see, because I know you follow the Alabama program, seeing Jalen Mbakwe, Xavier Brown making that key interception against Georgia in their win, seeing these young, true freshmen being able to play, how much does that resonate with you with potential that you have and being able to play early?
It's very important. So that's really what helped me, just them giving the freshmen the opportunity to get a chance to play and compete against the older guys. So
100%. Now, I want to ask you a little bit, obviously, your brother, who's right next to you on the left, he's an outstanding player as well. So are you convincing Big Bro to kind of come down over with you to Alabama? What's kind of that conversation? Because your brother is one of the hottest stars right now, too. He's a four-star. A lot of colleges want him. What has those conversations been like?
Hey, wherever he want to go, I'm happy for him. But it would be great for him to come to Alabama and be on the same team with me.
100%. All right, Alex, now that you've shut it down, let's talk about kind of the offseason a little bit. What's that going to kind of look like for you? I know you've battled a little bit of injury this year, still had a really good year, but what are you going to work on the most to kind of hone your craft to continue to be the outstanding player that you are?
Hey, go from 4.4 to 4.2, is gaining speed every day, just the mentality part about it, staying healthy and just having the right attitude and not getting big-headed about committing to Alabama. So just helping my teammates and coaches out and becoming a leader of the team going into my junior year to help my brother his senior year get him a ring so he can go off happy with a ring.
Yes, sir. I love that answer. Give me a message for Alabama faithful. What are they getting in a player in Alexander Ward? I know how good you are. They don't know how good you are. But tell them what they get in a special player like yourself.
They're getting a team player. You're going to play for his brothers no matter what the score is. We can be losing by 50. I'm going to still play hard and give it everything I got. So just them getting a player that's not going to stop playing hard no matter what it is and just putting everything and all my effort and fighting for everybody. So just I'm going to be I believe my goal is to be the greatest player to ever come to Alabama.
All right. So this is the last question. Let you go. I know obviously you said Josh Norman is your mentor, okay? I want you to say what other players are you watching today in today's game in college or high school or NFL that you like to watch and kind of take bits and pieces and add to your game?
Kobe Bryant, Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Surtain, and guys like them. So really just them being dogs on the field and OBJ, Devontae Adams, Tyreek, just all them. Seeing them go from high school, just putting in the work just each and every day just to become the person that they are, not stopping wherever they at. So
100%. Well, Alex, I appreciate you coming on. Shout out to Pops right there in the back with the blue hat on. Shout out to Pops. Appreciate you allowing me to do this, man. Shout out to the fam. And y'all enjoy some great Thanksgiving dinner, man. And enjoy that mac and cheese, which I know is your favorite, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. All right, guys. That's going to do it, man. Go. Gosh, I can't think of the Alabama slogan. What? Roll Tide. There we go. Roll Tide. There we go. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of it. All right, man. Roll Tide, as you guys can see, latest commit right there, Alexander Ward, special player. But that's all the time we got, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning into this segment. We will see you guys soon on the Georgia High School Georgia High School Sports Daily.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily for the early National Signing Day special. Najeh Wilkins along with Craig Sager. We got Max on in here in the studio with us as well, man. We have some breaking news, so I'm not even going to waste any more time. We got a major flip. I'm going to get these guys' reaction, but let's go ahead and roll it. Usman Kroma has flipped from Georgia to Florida State. Biggest news of the day. Unbelievable. He's going to be featured in our game this upcoming weekend on Friday when they play Milton. The Clash of the Titans, as some would call it. But I'm going to throw it to the guys. Usman Kroma to Florida State from Georgia. I got to get y'all reaction. What's the reaction?
My first reaction is go to a team that is going to also use you in the passing game. I don't think that's the reason he made that decision, but if you're Florida State, this guy can do it all. He's a complete back, runs some of the best routes, has great hands out of the backfield. So maybe at Florida State, we're able to see him get more involved just in the passing game. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I agree. And then I just talked to Coach Dean Fabrizio just about their game this week with Milton, and he was talking about Kroma as just one of those guys that you're just lucky to have on your team. He can do everything. He runs well. He catches very well out of the backfield, and he's an underrated blocker as well. So it's just a huge piece to get for Gus Malzahn and that new offense for Florida State next year.
It's going to be interesting. As you said, the new offensive coordinator change, obviously, for Florida State. And I think I agree with you guys. I think a lot of it has to do with playing time. We look at Georgia. Nate Frazier's coming to his own. Looks like he's going to be the lead back. We'll see what happens with Trevor Etienne going forward. But Dwight Phillips get more into the role. I think Florida State said, hey, you have a chance to potentially play early here. We did not have a good season, but we're going to hit the portal. We're going to bring in some guys. And they also just flipped a receiver as well, Javion Hobbs as well. So Florida State not playing, and they're making some big headway here in the ACC for National Signing Day.
Did I hear a stat yesterday? Their decommits were actually a better class than the commits?
Their decommitment class was higher than their commitment class.
Mm-hmm. And that was the case?
Yes,
that was the case.
Talk about just a huge win for Florida State being able to get Kroma. That is unbelievable. I know they've had a tough season, but I'm telling you, he's one of the most impressive running backs I've seen. It's not just his yardage. First of all, this is an offense this year. They're leading the entire state in scoring. He's been doing it. He's been leading them. Now he's in this more balanced attack, but still the impact he makes, he's able to just fight for yards, hit the hole well. He's deceptively fast, in my opinion. He has the home run breakaway speed. In college, I think he's college ready at this point, but I'm just excited to see him.
100%. All right, guys, we have more news coming up, and Max is going to help us break that as well. So we're going to toss to him. What's going on with Florida and the latest with Lagonza Hayward?
I mean, yeah, two teams in college football that have really just picked up steam towards the end of the season. We have Florida and you have Georgia Tech. Now, starting with Florida, Florida got two commitments, one from Justin Mbachu from Grayson, just a huge defensive lineman commit just to really bulk up that front seven, as well as Lagonza Hayward. And that's just a guy from Toombs County who can really do it all, playing safety. He also has over 600 all-purpose yards this season, 32 total tackles, is ranked as a top 100 player in the state. It's just a huge flip for Florida.
100%. I mean, I agree with you. That's huge, them landing him, and some of the Florida faithful are already saying they could be a potential Reggie Nelson-type player for them and how impactful he was in his career with Florida. So I think it's huge. As I was telling Craig, I think they're getting a player that can play all of the positions on the back end. And as I said, similarly reminds me of Bryce Thornton. I think he can have that impact. What else are you hearing, though? There's been other flips and changes as well. What's going on with Georgia Tech and their latest running back?
Yeah, I mean, their Tech just flipped Shane Marshall from Irwin County, from Minnesota to Georgia Tech. Just another good flip for the Tech as they just keep building momentum as the season ending. You saw they've also flipped Peyton Joseph. They flipped Tay Harris as well. And then they had Christian Garrett flipped in the beginning of the season. Just a lot of momentum for Tech right now in Brent Key.
100%. Let me toss it to Craig and get your thoughts on this. So obviously he talked about the latest. What's just your reaction? I know I've been high on Toombs County all year. They're going to play actually Bowden in the state semifinals. But what's just your thoughts on Lagonza flipping and the momentum that Florida is building currently right now with their recruiting class?
What I like, and it's actually been a theme, I'd say the last 3 or 4 years, where some of the biggest prospects in the state have been at smaller schools, whether it's the Justice Terry, we've seen a lot of Savannah areas. When you get a player who's coming from a smaller classification, people can think of that as a negative. They haven't played enough competition. I think it's a positive because he's playing so many different roles and dominating at them. And so, like in the last game, I saw him have 3 touchdowns in the second half, getting it done offensively. He's able to do so much, and he has so many snaps under his belt. They have played tough competition. So I think it's a positive when you get a guy from a smaller school that's had to really just fulfill a lot of different roles. He's going to be versatile. The athleticism can translate to a bunch of different scenarios. So I think that's a huge benefit for Florida.
100%. All right, so Max, now it is time. I want you to tell the audience and let them know what has been the most impactful flip you think, or the most impactful get potentially of this class in 2025, if you had to say, over the last few months.
For me personally, just thinking about it, I would say it would be Tay Harris going to Georgia Tech. Flipping from Clemson, going to Georgia Tech, kind of showing that Georgia Tech is still competing with the big guys in college football, and that don't sleep now because they're coming. And they got guys coming on the way with Christian Garrett, with Peyton Joseph. They're not messing around, and Brent Key is recruiting his butt off right now.
Yeah, I'd say with Cedartown, that is a team, they are so physical, and for him to be able to play in the secondary, go on offense, earn that respect to just go into any role, any scenario, and still bring that physicality, spectacular playmaking, I think that's huge. It's huge for Georgia Tech to build that connection with the Cedartown program that's going to have great prospects in the future. I thought he would have done great at Clemson, but him staying at home in Tech, I think it's huge. Cedartown's going nowhere, and I think he's just one of the best athletes, and I think his hard hitting is a very underrated aspect. He's going to bring that electricity to that defense.
Great point by you, Craig. I'm going to go with Dalen Pinson. USC tried to flip him. They was recruiting him hard. He took an official visit this past weekend to the Trojans, and I think it's big for them because in the quote he said to rivals is he's not only going to play defense, but being able to play potentially both ways and what head coach Brent Key is building. I think that is massive for the Tech program because not only are you getting a potential shutdown corner on the next level, but you're also getting a guy that could be an athlete and a playmaker on the next level. He is going to be huge, and I think he can have instant impact early. What other news are you hearing, though, Max, as far as what's going on around the state?
Well, this morning, Shamar Arno from Carrollton flipped from Auburn to FSU. I feel like that's a big one. FSU's having a big day today with Carrollton too. But that's just another guy they can get that's played some good football in 6A and has competed against some good teams. That's going to go on to FSU and play some big football again in the ACC. Go from there, and then from a couple months back, we have C.J. Wiley going to Georgia. That was a big one with Juju flipping the other day to Carrollton. There's a lot of big names around the state that just are finding their place.
A couple more quick updates as we kind of conclude this segment. Shane King has reopened up his commitment. He decommitted from Troy, so that's going to be one to continue to watch. And also, T.J. Lester has flipped from Milton. He will also be featured in our game, so make sure you stay tuned for that. He is no longer an Eastern Kentucky commit. He is now a West Georgia commit, and remember that they are a FCS D1 program now, so that's going to be something to watch. West Georgia also deserves a lot of credit for how they've been recruiting here in the state of Georgia over the last few. Landed Alexander Sanchez last year, a 3-star. So shout out to West Georgia. Let's give them some love too here in the state with their ability and what they've been able to do. All right, that's all we have for the latest in our flips and recruitments. Coming up, we'll have some more interviews and underrated and overlooked players in the state. All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. I'm Najeh Wilkins along with Craig Sager and Hayden Gilbert. We're getting into our early National Signing Day, and this segment is going to be underrated and overlooked. Make that kid an offer. And we got a lot of different players that we're going to highlight today. I'm going to start with Hayden because he does really good with this, highlighting great players in the state. Hayden, what you got cooking up for us?
So just starting out, one of my favorite players up in Northeast Georgia at Raymond County is Michael Johnson, 6'6", 270. Big offensive tackle, just a great player. Doesn't have the offers that I think he can get to. Right now, his only offer, I believe, is from West Georgia. He may have a few more small offers, but just he's at that size. You would think that schools really would be pushing for more for him. And I think if he was at a bigger school, he would get some of those bigger offers. Okay. Craig, who are a couple guys you like as well, just underrated? Let's make that kid an offer.
I forgot about three, but I think the first one is going to be Caden McGatha of Pierce County. You look at the history of Pierce County, and they've had some quarterbacks that have gone underrated, ended up winning some national championships. I think what Caden has done the last 2 years, obviously led them to a state title last year. The numbers, the toughness, his ability, I don't care if he's going to be a quarterback at the next level or what, but I just think he's a tough kid. He's a leader. He's a playmaker. I think smaller schools should definitely give him a chance.
For sure. All right, let me go ahead and get mine in here. Got to get some love to Weston Taylor from Cambridge High School. They had a marvelous run, upset Cedartown earlier this year in the playoffs, man. He was phenomenal. 3,610 passing yards, 36 touchdowns this year. Absolutely lit it up, deserves more credit and praise. He can scramble, he can get out of the pocket, he can improvise, he can throw off the run. He can stand in there and take a hit as well and throw it downfield. He hit Hudson Cochera and also he hit Craig Dandridge all season long. I thought he was electric, deserves more praise. College coaches, look up Weston Taylor. Go look up their coach, Tyler Jones, and look at how elite that offense was this year. I toss it to you, Hayden.
So another one that I really love is Caden Thompson. Caden Thompson is, he's not going to play football at the next level most likely, but he's a Georgia Southern baseball commit. But, he hit over 1,000 yards this season, 1,067 yards with Cherokee Bluff, 13 touchdowns. In his first year with a really high-level quarterback and a high-level offense, he helped them get to the quarterfinals. I think if he was willing to play football, and if he's willing to play football, he could have offers from places including Georgia Southern.
Yeah, that's huge numbers. You said 13 touchdowns?
13 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, playing both ways. Just a really talented guy. We got to see him at GEC last year with his quarterback this year, Brooks Bryan. Just a really talented kid.
And I agree with Weston Taylor. One thing that I don't know if this is factoring into it, when you look at his film a little bit, he's not your typical gunslinger, but he does have this ability to kind of throw it sidearm a little bit. So he's a lefty, I believe, so he's able to get it out there quick. That might be something that coaches are looking at. Okay, maybe the mechanics, we got to work on that a little bit, but I agree. He played in a complex offense this season with Tyler Jones, who's proven, with Hecklinski the last year. So I think he understands the game. I just think it's the little things, but he should be able to definitely get an offer. I'm going to go with another quarterback real quick. This is Garrett Edgar from, where are we at? Yeah, Ringgold. Sorry, real quick. All right, so another Class 2A. So this season, he was a dual-threat quarterback. Great numbers. He had 1,780 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, also 5 rushing touchdowns. His quarterback coach, Cameron Evans, says 100% the smartest and hardest working kid you'll ever come across in recruiting. He will make your program better. I would bet money there aren't many high school quarterbacks that can do what he does. So he did get one offer, his first one from McPherson. That came in yesterday. So we'll see if they start to pile back up. But Ringgold had a great season. They were 8-4. They ended up getting beat by Carver Columbus. And so both my guys actually got knocked off by Carver Columbus.
That's tough, man. This Carver Columbus season this year, Craig. My next guy is going to be North Cobb Christian linebacker Spears Martin. 89 tackles, 17.5 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hurries. He's been electric. We just mentioned him when we talked to Turner Davis when he announced his decision to commit to Charles Southern. Absolutely phenomenal. Had 11 tackles in that game. Just continues to just find the football, fill the gaps, fill the holes, and he can also cover as well. Underrated player. I think he also plays baseball, but he's been electric this season, and he's the potential reason why North Cobb can potentially win the state title this year. Spears Martin, make that kid an offer. He's been electric this year.
All right, well, you got another one here?
I always have another one. Another one that we've seen, we're going to see this week, is Tristan Payne. Tristan Payne, 765 yards, 7 touchdowns. We talk about this, that when you get over 6 touchdowns, and you're especially on a team with that many weapons of Barbour, C.J. Wiley, Ryan G., when you're getting to numbers like that, you're a really good player, and he's the prototypical slot receiver. His route running is crisp, he's fast. He's shown the ability to take the top off the defense. Everything he does is just really well. It's surprised that he doesn't have any offers yet.
Yeah, well, I see another name on that list I want to talk about. I believe he does have some offers, but Harrison Spencer from South Forsyth, we saw him at the showcase at Blessed Trinity. He was by far the best receiver there, won every single one-on-one, a tall kid. I know he's been to a lot of camps, but I'm excited to see him in the senior game for Georgia Elite Classic. And just looking at him, the fact that he doesn't have more offers, I think that's probably a product from maybe South Forsyth's season wasn't very successful in this year, but he's definitely the real deal. I would put a lot of stake that he's going to be able to get it done at the college level. I'm going to go with Bryce, the Hitman Hart, also from Ringgold, 6'2", 215-pound linebacker. In the last 5 games of the season, he had 90 tackles. This guy can get it done. Looks like Samford actually just threw an offer his way yesterday, one of the first ones to come in. But I feel like once we get to the later signing day period, it will continue. His name will continue to get out there. The word is out.
All right, let me go ahead and go to my next guy. That's going to be Zayden Cook for what he's been able to do this year. He's actually going to be featured. I don't know if we have the graphic or not, but the award graphic December 8th at our event. Make sure you guys get your tickets and RSVP to Ashley. And as you guys can see right here, Score Atlanta High School Football and Flag Awards will be this Sunday at 3 p.m. But he's going to be getting an award. I will not say what, but had an electric season this year, 2,939 yards and 33 touchdowns. Deserves more credit, deserves more praise for what he was able to do for Chattooga, and definitely think he should be made an offer. He's been electric all year long.
Yeah, his numbers this season, he was very close to getting 3,000 yards. I think only 2 other running backs have ever done that. He averaged about 280 yards per game. In Chattooga, they started off hot. I think they were like 5-1 at one point. They did make the playoffs. They had to play, I think, Dublin, maybe a very tough team in the playoffs. But even in the games they lost, it was obvious the ball is coming his way. He still had big games. I think maybe the fewest yards he had all season was about 160. And then in other cases, he has 280 in the first half and he's rest in the second half. So he definitely, we'll talk about the awards later, but he was the state's leading rusher this year. So that will be something he will be recognized for. What do you think about Zayden?
He's really impressive. Like, especially at a FCS level, which he's starting to get offers from. He has a few offers. He's gotten a few offers over the last few weeks. I think he's going to be a really good running back. You know, I think our view of what a great player is kind of messed up by how many great players we have in the state. Because we have Usman, because we have Bo Walker, because we have all these great players, it's like, oh, he doesn't have an offer from Georgia, Alabama, or even some of these smaller FBS schools. It's like he's still a great high school player, and he's still going to have a great college career and get a great education.
All right, Hayden, who else you got on the board?
So another running back, another underrated running back for me is Elijah Hayes at West Hall. He's been great throughout his entire career. Prototypical running back, 6'1", over something like 210 pounds, 215 pounds. He rushed for nearly 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns on a West Hall team that kind of struggled throughout the season. They started out hot. They struggled to win games in region play. He's recently received an offer from UAB, but I mean, with the way he runs, with the skill set that he has, I expect that he's definitely, that's his only major offer right now, and I expect that throughout the remainder of this recruiting cycle, as teams lose out on these recruiting battles that they thought they would win, you're going to see him get more and more offers from FCS and even maybe some more FBS offers.
I think for me, going on my next one, got to be Tyrese Woodgett. And I know he's committed, and I believe that's Georgia Military College that I've seen that he's committed to. But we talk about a guy that's getting it done for Coffee. 605 yards, set a state record in their win last week against Sequoia, 72-48 victory. We've been talking about him on the show throughout the week. But I think that's a guy that definitely deserves to be D1 FCS potentially. Just his explosiveness, how he can catch the ball out of the backfield, how he can take one cut and take it to the house. He deserves to be made a higher offer, in my humble opinion. And he's been electric all year for Coffee, and it's going to be one to watch when they play Hughes this upcoming Friday.
All right, we'll throw it to Hayden real quick. I believe, I was going to say Jack Ewart, Marist quarterback. I know he's going the baseball route. Looks like he just committed to Wofford to play baseball. But that's a guy where I'd really like to see him get an opportunity at the next level. But if he goes the baseball route, that is understandable.
So my next one is Jackson Prehar, linebacker at Flyer Branch. Prototypical linebacker, 6'1", 210 pounds. Finished the season with over 100 total tackles, 7 sacks, 13 tackles for loss. I think one thing that's holding him back is this is his first year starting. He transferred in from Buford, where because of depth there, he didn't really have a chance to play. But I think if he had been playing there for 3-4 years, where he'd probably be a 3 or 4 year starter, I think he'd have FCS offers. And right now he doesn't even have D3, D2, or NAIA offers. And I think as this cycle goes on, like a lot of these kids, you're going to see him get those offers.
I think another one for me, I got to see if his class is senior, but a kid I think has been tearing it up, and that's going to be Ethan Irvin of Buford. We televised their game last week, but just with his ability to be able to run the ball, take a lot of the carries. Obviously, he splits it with Jordan Baker, but I think how much he's featured in that offense and how effective he's been with his touches, I think he's also an underrated kid that deserves more love and more praise and should be made more offers. He's been electric, and he was again when they played North Gwinnett this past Friday.
All right, South Effingham's Joshua Brooks, 6'1", 190-pound senior and defensive back for South Effingham. They had a great season this year. They're led by John Ford, former Buford and Roswell coach. According to Max Preps this season, he had 22 total tackles and interceptions. He's got a 3.6 GPA, and he is still looking for that first offer. That is Joshua Brooks from South Effingham.
All right, what else you got for us, Hayden?
Another one, a guy that's underrated, I think it's mainly because of that they had Andrew Beard on that team, is Jake Bobo. And he also didn't start the entire season. He's a little undersized compared to what we've been taught as the prototypical 6'2", 6'3" quarterback. He's only 6 foot tall. But, I mean, while splitting time with Ben Muster, while only starting really the second half of the season, he's put up over 1,200 yards, 13 passing touchdowns, and added about 250 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. And we've really seen that team kind of calm down since he's taken over. With Muster at the helm, he's young. He made mistakes, and they struggled throughout the first half of the season. Now they also played an ungodly schedule, went out of state 3 times, I believe. But when Jake came in, he has that senior presence. He came in and just took over. The team's calmed down. While Muster's still playing, Jake seems to be the main quarterback there. And I think because of all the weapons he's had and because of he's played in that offense that so many great quarterbacks have come out of, I think that especially if you're a D3 or a D2 school, he's a guy that you really need to look at. He's recently received his first D3 offer, but I think at a D2 school like Valdosta State really should look at him as a guy that can come in and immediately start because he's playing a really complicated offense.
100%. My next guy is Eugene Grove. Gregory Jackson, he's had a phenomenal year. I think he has 17.5 sacks this year. Another player I'm sure is going to be getting a lot of postseason awards. He's been electric as well. His ability to sift through blocks, contain the edge when running backs get out there, and also create pressure on the quarterback. Not a lot of people were talking about him, but he was right up there with Herbert Scroggins, the Miami commit, I believe signing today, right there with sacks this year in Georgia.
All right, I got Creekside's Zach Carter. Coach Dixon's very high on him. He's a lockdown cornerback for them. Apparently, he came to Creekside as a quarterback originally. He's transitioned very well, bought in to his defensive role. He's been huge in this pretty much exceptional Creekside defense that shut out Eastside in the last round. This is Zach Carter. He's picked up a few offers. Looks like Alabama A&M, but is on the look for some more. So that's Creekside's cornerback. We'll see him obviously play this week against Marist.
All right, what else you got, Hayden, for us?
So another really underrated quarterback for me is Trip Underwood over at Stevens County. He is your prototypical quarterback, 210, 6'2", 6'3", everything you want. He threw for over 2,500 yards, 24 touchdowns. And I think he's a 2 or 3 year starter. Every year they've been really good. This was their best year playoff-wise, but they didn't win a region title like they had in the previous 2 years. But he just keeps growing. I think he has a few small school offers, but this was a guy that, from the film that I've watched, I think he could easily be an FCS guy. He does everything you like in a pocket passing quarterback.
100%. And as we kind of wrap up here and get out of here with the segment, I know we got a couple more minutes left. Hayden, I want to ask you this. You've watched a lot of high school football, and I want to ask you just, who do you think out of these guys that you maybe mentioned that can have probably an impact or an instant impact when they get on the next level?
I would say Elijah Hayes. Okay. He's the most physical running back that's come out of Hall County in a long time. You look at a lot of the Gainesville running backs, they're great running backs, and they're great high school running backs. They're great college running backs, but they're more so these guys that are going to come in on third downs, that are going to catch passes, that are going to come in, they're going to try to hit the edge, they're going to be able to run between the tackles, but they're not going to be that guy that you go, oh, he's going to get me 3 yards every carry no matter what, because they're just smaller guys like 5'9", 5'10", 180, 170 pounds, where Hayes is 6'1", 6'2", and is, by the time he gets out of college, he may be 240 pounds. He's just a massive running back that has everything you want in that type of running back.
And Craig, I just ask you, just in general, what senior has impressed you the most throughout this run? They don't have to be underrated or overlooked, but what senior has impressed you the most this season?
Oh, man, that is a very tough one. impressed me the very, very most?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Zayden Cook.
Okay.
It's pretty incredible numbers this season, leading the state in rushing. I'm going to go with Zayden.
Zayden Cook, what about for you? Most impressive senior as we wrap up.
I would say how good Jeremiah Ware was. I was surprised. So he's officially signed with Georgia Southern. He had been a Georgia Southern commit for a long time. But, you know, he came from Flyer Branch. He did like 1,100 yards. But going into that offense, he ended up being their #1 guy, where I expected Shane King to be that #1 guy. And I was surprised that no bigger schools offered him.
100%. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this segment, talking underrated and overlooked. Make that kid an offer. We hope you guys enjoyed this. We try to highlight all the seniors here in the state that have been making big-time impacts. Coming up, we will have Tomas Hernandez of Lanier. Also, we'll have Tojuan Peyton Jr. announcing their commitments right here on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Customer service is everything in our industry, and one thing our clients love is when they call Breda, they get a live representative. At Breda, you get the attention you need and deserve right when you call in. Your appointment gets scheduled right then and there, and you get a specific time, no window of arrival. Our staff are your neighbors. They know what's going on in your community, and they're invested in doing it better.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands and proper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together, we can make a difference.
Struggling with food insecurity can feel lonely, yet every community across America is affected by hunger, which is why our Kroger associates work together to rescue nutritious food that would otherwise go to waste in an effort to donate 3 billion meals by 2025. Because we believe everyone should have access to fresh, delicious food. Join the Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation to defeat hunger and eliminate food waste.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years, purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
Yikey wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
Journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Najeh Wilkins along with Craig Sager. We have a special guest in the building, Tojuan Peyton Jr. from Lanier, set to make his announcements live here on TV in the studio. Shout out to his pops in the background, Tojuan Peyton Sr. for coming on. We'll have another one coming up, and also Tomas Hernandez as well. But Tojuan, what a phenomenal year for you before we get into the decision. You went off 1,708 yards, 23 touchdowns. What did you work on the most in the offseason to have this type of career year?
This offseason, I worked on keeping my pad level low when I'm making my cuts and stuff, going through the hole in the first level. And all my coaches always say, make the first man miss. So working out all year, working on my cuts, spin moves, and jukes, so I had to make the first man miss and get them touchdowns and yards.
Talk a little bit about your coaches, too. Coach Tyler Maloof and some of your trainers that's kind of helped you had his career year as well.
So when I was 8, I started training with Coach Drew Johnson. He's helped me out a lot. And my new trainer right now is Coach Beck with Sports Academy. And I've been going through him throughout the summer, probably about 3-4 times a week. So I had a heavy load this summer, so I just, got to work in the lab. And shout out to all my coaches and, everybody at Lanier High School. They really helped me out a lot. And, Coach Maloof, Coach Brandon, my running back coach, Coach Grimm, they all guided me throughout this process and my parents to make this decision.
100%. Now, I want to ask you a little bit about that game. The game, 421 rushing yards, a Gwinnett County record. Look, man, look, you got to tell me. Was it a special feeling you had? Was it something that Pops prepared for you? Was it special juice? Like, what's going through your head before you go into the game and you pop off like that?
So that game, it was our senior game, so it was senior week. So I was getting letters and stuff from my family members, my parents throughout the whole week about how they remember me when I was, a little boy, how I grown so much. And that game, my dad had gave me a letter, and, I read it in the bathroom. It was emotional a little bit. So heading up to the game, we got all the seniors hyped, so we was all hyped for this game because we never beat Roswell. So we going in thinking, yeah, we're going to win this game, do it for the people who couldn't, like our past seniors. And, I don't know, I just went off that game because they was talking a little trash, and I don't really talk that much, so I really took that to heart. And, I had great blocking for my linemen and tight ends. We had a great scheme, and I just had to do my job. And on the sidelines, actually, it was weird. I just got really emotional for no reason on the sideline after a touchdown. I was just breaking down for some reason, but
wow.
Yeah, but it was a very special moment.
And I'm going to throw it to you, Craig, here in a second. I just want to ask one more. Talk about that offensive line you had this year, along with Tomas and several others. It paved the way for you. I know you can't do it by yourself, but what impact did they have on you and just being able to have such a great year?
Oh, they had a big impact, actually, because, I love my linemen. Some weeks I got them donuts for, them blocking for me, because as a running back, I'm really nothing without my linemen. So kudos to my linemen. I appreciate y'all for letting me, give me this opportunity and blocking your, I'm going to say something bad, blocking your butts off all season.
100%. Go ahead,
It was a really fun senior season for you. Obviously, recruiting is something that's also in the back of your mind. So how did you handle that just throughout the season, just playing hard, using this opportunity to go out there, have a great senior year, but also just weigh the options on kind of where you wanted to make that decision?
So in the summer, I had committed early, so during the season, I had no worries, no stress, so I can just, be focused and play my game. And, I just got in my pray every day about telling God to give me tell me the signs about what the school I should go to. And, I've weighed down my options and, the whole list actually about every single school, about the pros and cons, which my parents told me to do. And, yeah, I just talked to God every night, and he led me to my decision.
You were talking to Najeh about just academically how you've been, I guess, dual enrolling, trying to get prepared in that. So talk about that real quick.
So this actually started in middle school. I took a high school credit class because I knew eventually one day it's good to have the extra credit for high school. So I had the extra credit, and I was actually above my credit, so I was like ahead of everything. So I was on track to graduate early, so I just took some dual enrollment classes at Gwinnett Tech, some college classes, so I can graduate this December, so I can be on campus in January, so I can get a head start.
You feel like that helped you? Obviously, you're focusing on both, but really hone in this season, get focused, and have that great year.
Yeah, so that helped me a lot because now I can put high school behind me, and I really only got a month to get ready for the big league and show everybody I'm college level ready.
100%. All right, we're going to let you announce the decision, but I was talking to your pops and obviously, your family. I want you to kind of give them this moment as well and give them, I know they mean a lot to you. I know they've been role models to you. Just talk about what they've meant to you just out of everything, not just sports, but just your life and where you're at right now.
Without my family, to be honest, I probably wouldn't be in this position right now because, going through the hardships of injuries, having low confidence throughout the high school, like my sophomore and junior year. My grandparents and my parents really kept me playing football. I love football a lot, but, everybody would have their hardships and everything. So they just kept me on the right track, told me to keep my head up and everything. And, I love y'all.
100%. All right, Tojuan. Without further ado, man, it's all on you now. It's time for you to make your decision. We're gonna give you the floor.
First and foremost, I'm gonna give thanks to the man above, God, because nothing's possible without Him, and to all my linemen, tight ends, and my wide receivers who's blocking for me this season, and all my coaches, and everybody who recruited me. But I will be signing with and taking my talents to Georgia State University.
Yes, sir. There we go. Georgia State University officially going with Coach Dale McGee, a phenomenal program. I don't know if you know this, but I actually graduated from Georgia State and got my degree in journalism, man. So congrats on committing there. But for you, what made Georgia State feel like the right fit for you? Why did you decide to stay home?
Even when I was committed to another school, they still had said they're going to keep their eye on me, keep recruiting me and all that. And I feel like they have a lot of great minds on that coaching staff, like Coach McGee, Coach Hugh Jackson, Coach Healy, Coach Chaney, just many more. And they all believe in me and believe I can change their offense and help them win some more games next year.
And then talk about your relationship with Coach Healy. Obviously, I know he believes a lot in you, but what does he kind of see you fitting in? Are you going to play like a little bit of how you did here with Lanier, kind of being that featured guy where you get a lot of reps outside of the backfield too? You caught a lot of balls this year as well. Talk a little bit about that.
He believes in all my abilities and skills, so I will be playing, put me out there in the slot, one-on-one with some linebackers, some corners too, because I can make corners miss too. So, I'll be like a flex position, playing running back, a little slot, and special teams like kick return too.
When you took your visit there, what kind of impressed you the most? I mean, Georgia State's a program that's just continuing to build one of the highest enrollment numbers, I think over 50,000 students there. What impressed you the most when you were on campus and you took a visit?
What impressed me the most was the amount of love that the coaches showed me, and not only the coaches, but the players too. The players on the team really bought in with me and wanted me to suit up with them and play with them on Saturdays and Fridays, during the week. And seeing the vision that they have for the program and all the great minds and people who've been there before, all the experience they have on the staff, I feel like we're going to change things around.
And then you got school wrapping up. You have the spring to get ready, and then it looks like you'll be there before you know it. It's not far away. So do you just expect a pretty seamless transition, and how pumped are you to get on campus?
Very excited, actually. I can't wait to be there next month.
Next month. All right. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Go Panthers.
And one more thing before we let you go. Just tell Georgia State faithful what they're getting in a player like you.
You're getting a dynamic player, person with the ball in your hands, and not only with the ball in your hands, just a leader on and off the field, and y'all can get something out of me.
100%. Well, guys, we're going to make the transition. We got our Score Atlanta Awards coming up. Thank you so much to Tojuan Peyton and family for allowing him to be on the show and break the news. We're going to transition Tojuan out and bring on Thomas Hernandez to make his decision as well. Congrats again, Tojuan.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming on. Yes, sir.
And his name's Tomas.
Yeah, Tomas. I'm sorry, Tomas.
It's all good.
My bad. Sorry about that.
What's up with these guys?
All right, welcome back, Georgia High School Sports Daily. So that was the first commitment of the day. We have another special treat for you. Tomas Hernandez is here in the building as well, so we're going to talk to him. He played for Lanier this year. Offensive line did a lot of great work. You did as well. What did you just enjoy the most about this year, man?
I love being able to run the ball. It's great having a great running back behind you and being able just to get him a crease and he just take it to the house. So I must say that's favorite part of the year was just seeing him run on the field all year.
What did you work on the most this offseason to have also a great year for yourself?
So this year was a big technique year for me because I felt like the kids are getting bigger. We played against bigger schools like Roswell and Milton, and I knew that technique was going to be the win or lose for me. So I knew that technique was really big for me, so I really worked on technique, and it really paid off.
And then obviously you're going to make a decision as well, but just tell the others like what the program, what they're getting in a player like you, not only on the field but also off the field.
A leader and a great person all around. I really like helping the homeless and stuff like that, and going back and giving back to the community.
Talk about that. I mean, you don't always see players that give back. I know your mom means a lot to you as well, but just talk about those two components to this, everything your mom meant to you. I believe she was Olympic gold medalist in something. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Boxing.
Boxing, yes, boxing. So just talk about what she's meant to you, and then also just being able to give back to the community for those that's less fortunate as well.
So to the community, I like giving back because I know there's kids who don't have great situations at home, and kids who like look at sports, and that's everything for them. And I feel like that's been what for me, because it was either go play college ball or go to the military. That was what it was for me, because I wanted to go play college. And I feel like with the community, I wanted to help out the youth and stuff like that, and really help guide them be successful athletes. And then my mom, she's meant everything to me. She's done so much, and she showed me how to be a leader, and she's really humbled me and just showed me how to like be the person I am today.
What would be your message to the youth, just, if you had to talk to them and try to resonate with them at, that level? Because obviously you see youth now, it's a lot of time they're lost. But what would you say to them to try to resonate? And that's been through tough situations as well.
I would say that your dreams mean a lot, and that if you really stick to your dreams, you can really do it. Because back when I was a freshman and sophomore, there was days where I didn't think I could go play college ball, and I really grinded and I really worked for it, and I was able to do it. So I feel like for the youth that you can do it too. So
100%. So let's talk a little bit about your offensive line coach at Lanier before I bring Craig in here, and then also Coach Maloof. What has they meant to you and your growth in getting to this stage?
So my offensive line coach, his name's Coach Dye. He's meant so much to me. He's helped me develop not even only as a player, but also as a man. He's taught me so much stuff in the last 2-3 years on just how to carry yourself and how to be confident and how to be aggressive on the field and how to be a great person all around.
Tomas, obviously you're a big guy, 6'3", I think, 290 now?
Yes, sir.
6'. When did you hit your growth spurt? You talked about your freshman year, this process. Just talk to us just about your size and becoming an elite offensive line prospect.
So I've always been a big kid. I've always been I'm not the biggest, but I've always been the big kid. And I really hit my growth spurt when I was probably my sophomore year. I grew from 6 foot to like 6'3". And since then, I put on a lot of weight too. I mean, when I got into high school, I was 260. So I put on 30 pounds, and I really that's when I hit my growth spurt.
And then you had a great season this year. What's it like, though, just in the offseason, maybe when you're at some of these camps or a padded camp, you're just in these offensive line drills, you're working on the technique. I mean, how did that help you, just going up against some of the other great linemen, these one-on-one battles, and just showing yourself throughout this process?
It's a great experience because you get to go against people who are better than you, but also not as good as you. So it gives you plenty of different looks that pay off in the season, and it just helps. It helps out a lot.
And then you talked about the schedule Lanier played. Obviously, some tremendous opponents. I think you guys had Norcross early on. Obviously, the Gainesvilles, the Milton. What was that like, just going up against some of these great teams this year? Just knowing that you're going to be able to put your film out there, show that you're ready to get it done at the college level once you get there.
It felt like I had a ride or die mentality to it, because I knew that that there's a lot of people at these games, there's a lot of colleges at these games, so I gave it everything that I had, and I knew that it was a playoff environment, so I embraced it and I let everything out.
And then playing the offensive line, what's your favorite part about it?
Definitely the grit part and being able to get up in someone's face mask and put them on the ground and then laugh at them when you get up.
The pancake blocks.
And not get in trouble for it.
And not get in trouble for it. It's all illegal stuff.
100%. Well, Tomas, the floor is yours. We're going to allow you to make your decision, ask you a little bit more about why you chose this program, but we give you the floor. Whoever you want to thank, coaches, players, your family, your mom, the floor is yours.
I want to thank God, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here at all. I really want to thank my mom. She's been there the entire way. I want to thank coaches helping me get my grades how they're supposed to be. Now I went from a C student to now an A student, straight A student. Wow. So it shows that like people helping you can really get you to excel. And I want to thank my past coaches too, as even little league, because there was a point in my life where I was at an age where I wouldn't be able to play because we couldn't afford equipment, and they all helped me. So I want to thank those people a lot, and I want to thank all my family.
100%. Sorry, it's up to you, man.
All right, so I will be committing to the University of West Georgia. Go Wolves.
Go Wolves. Go Wolves.
Go
Yes,
Wolves.
sir. Go Wolves. All right, guys. So another commitment on the day. Another player staying in-state, and an inspiring story, as you was just talking about Tomas as well. Just, you know, everything you've been through and getting to this point. And you talked about putting your head down and grinding and working to get to West Georgia. So for you, how fulfilling is it to be able to say, "Hey, Mom, I'm playing D1 ball. You don't have to worry anymore"? How fulfilling for you is that?
It was the best thing I can't even put words on it. It's just great. It's amazing. Just thank God. That's all I can say about that.
100%. And then obviously I know you built a relationship with Austin Davis, who's the offensive line coach there. Just talk a little bit about that. How did that recruiting kind of pick up there with the Wolves?
So I came there for a visit in the summer, and first I got in there, started watching film. And just off of when I was watching film with even the other players, just the pure ball knowledge that he had, and he taught me so many things off rip that I used even for this season for my technique. And I just knew that he would develop me to be hopefully an all-conference lineman and like all those accolades, because I know I have it. I need someone to help me get there.
100%. And then I want to ask you, too, how cool is it to see this program now is D1? So you're going to be playing against the big boys. You're playing on a high-end level. How excited are you for that to play against some stellar competition as well?
I'm extremely excited. And it's going to be another high competition, just like Georgia 5A. So, I know it's college, it's way different. But I know it's just going to be a lot of competition, and I like competition. So I'll enjoy it.
Before I bring you in, Craig, to kind of wrap us up, I do want to ask you, how excited are you? I don't know if you know, but this news broke right before our show. But TJ Lester, who you went against this year, Milton, he's going to be your tailback. He's coming along with you. How excited are you to kind of block for him? Another stud, just like Tojuan Peyton is.
It's going to feel great when I have basically TJ 2.0, or however you want to say it. He's great, man. That's all I can say about it. I just know I'm really happy.
Yes, sir.
And then, obviously, West Georgia's been on your radar. You talked about them giving you some tips. Just how excited are you to just make it official and just have this complete?
It's extremely relieving, and also it just makes me feel good that I know this is the place I'm going to, and I'm going to enjoy it there. I love the people there, love the community, love the coaches. It's great.
You bet.
And the last thing, as we wrap up this segment, Tomas as well, I do want to ask you just the rise of the program. Last year, they had a really good recruiting class. They landed Bryce Hicks, Alexander Sanchez as some notables. They land you, and obviously several other guys like TJ Lester. How cool is it to see these classes now stacking for West Georgia, and you guys could potentially be a dangerous team in the future?
It feels great just seeing the program grow and being a part of that and being able to set the foundation for the D1 level. And I'm extremely excited for that.
100%. Well, guys, that's all the time we got. Shout out to the Lanier coaching staff and our whole program for bringing us two elite guys, and a great story here from Tomas. That's all we got for now. Coming up, we'll talk to Rusty Mansell of Dawgs HQ. Hey, Rusty, can you talk really fast?
3, 2, 1. Rusty, 3, 2, 1.
Yep, I can hear him. How much time we got, Ash, so I can tell him?
Like 60 seconds.
Hey, Rusty, we got 60 seconds, then we're going to bring you on, okay?
All right.
All right. All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. We hope you guys enjoyed that segment talking to Tomas Hernandez and Tojuan Peyton Jr. of Lanier making their official commitments. Tojuan Peyton to Georgia State and obviously Tomas Hernandez to West Georgia. Super excited to see that. In a second, we're going to be joined by Rusty Mansell. Before we bring him on, Craig, just what was your reaction, just your thoughts on those two commitments?
I think it's awesome. So you have the lineman who blocked for him. You got the running back that ran behind him, and then they both stay in state to two budding up-and-coming programs. They both spoke highly of the coaches that they're getting ready to play with. I'm just excited for them, and I love when kids like that stay in state.
100%. All right, guys, let's bring in the guru expert himself, Mr. Rusty Mansell. Got to see him last Friday night. Rusty, what's going on?
You know, you got your phone plugged up. It is not, I'm just going to turn it off. Phone's still going hot. I guess there's still a lot of action going on in Lee County, and let's see if these young men turn their paperwork in. That's the next thing, I guess. The rumors coming out of Lee County now, neither one of those players, I think, have signed, so it ain't over till it's over, all this stuff, but good times, man.
100%, Rusty. And speaking of Lee County, we could start there. Just what are your thoughts on that commitment flip? We thought he was locked in with Georgia, but officially to Florida State. Probably one of the biggest surprises of the day, Rusty.
Yeah, definitely. When Dawgs HQ started mentioning a little bit this morning that Florida State, Auburn really tried to make a play there, and I believe they had him on campus 2 weeks ago. Florida State had him on campus 2 out of the last 3 weekends, I believe, and it looks like Florida State's going to end up with Chroma and Osmani Chroma, but till he signs the paperwork, we'll see where that is. But definitely a really good football player. I don't want to sugarcoat that at all for any Georgia fans who are watching it. If he does indeed end up at Florida State, which I anticipate, that's a big loss because that is a very talented football player. I can't wait to watch him on Friday night.
100%. And then, Rusty, it was another big commitment that Georgia's a part of, and that's Kevin Wynn here in state at Greene County, I believe it was. We didn't get a chance to see it because we were live on TV, but what's the latest with him? Where did he end up going?
He went to Florida State. He stuck with his commitment, and kind of kudos to Florida State. Did a really good job with him early on, and kind of let him know he was their priority. He was their guy. Georgia tried to recruit him and recruit him hard, but he looks like he's going to stick with Florida State, and I believe he did commit around 2:30. I think he is signed, so he is a Florida State Seminole.
100%. And then, Rusty, what's the latest with Georgia? We obviously know some really big flips. We know you guys got Bo Walker. I've seen him sign. Got C.J. Wiley as well. But has anything crazy happened? Like, what's going on with Georgia and the recruitment in state?
Well, everybody's watching Justice Terry now. He is the number one, I think, DJ Pickett, and just sticking his commitment to LSU, the 5-star cornerback. He's going to sign with LSU today. But Justice Terry will not make his final decision until Friday at noon. There will be the entire country will have all eyes on that decision. Young man out of Manchester, they will play in the state semifinals on Friday night. So he's got a busy day. If Georgia can get him in this class with Isaiah Gibson, who's the number one edge defender in America, who signed out of Warner Robins about an hour ago, Elijah Griffin, who is the number one defensive lineman for every recruiting industry in the country out of Savannah Christian, he signed earlier today. They got Zayden Walker, a young man. It's a great story, Najee. I don't think you were here with us yet. Zayden Walker played in the Georgia Elite Classic as a freshman, and I didn't know a ton about him. Had a coach call me and say, Rusty, this is one of the best players we've ever had here. We need to get him in this game. Talked to IJ. We got him up there. And I knew right then, I was like, man, this kid is something else. He's the number 1 rated inside linebacker in America for on 3. He signed with Georgia today. So Georgia didn't close as good as I think they wanted to, but, man, you can't really – they're going to be a top 3 class no matter what at the end of the day. But all the eyes will turn to Justice Terry Friday at noon, man. The entire country is going to be watching the decision out of that young man, 5-star. I think Auburn's still trying to be involved there. Alabama's involved. Texas is involved. This is an elite defensive line prospect. Young man at Georgia offered when he was in the 8th grade. So 4.5 years into this one. We'll see what happens on Friday.
I understand. I'm going to bring Craig in here, but I do want to ask you one last thing on Terry. What's the latest buzz around that? I know you guys have a decision between 3 schools. Is there any buzz going on? Is it kind of quiet right now?
Yeah, it's been really quiet. I do think he grew up a fan of Georgia, but, at the end of the day, man, let's just call it what they are. These things are business decisions. And, what's it going to come down to? I think Georgia, my opinion's the one I have said will land him. But, those things, today is a very, very, it's a very stern lesson to everyone in the country. These things are not over until they're over. And, that will be one to watch. I would say Georgia, but that one's not over.
And then, Rusty, I haven't been able to pay attention too much, but what's the latest on Todd Robinson? Have we heard anything?
Yeah, as far as, if he has it, he's going to Georgia. No worries there. Yeah.
Okay, so he said, and then Tech's obviously been aggressive too.
Yeah, man.
I want to ask you just about in the state, some of these upcoming programs that have moved to D1. You got Tech coming up. I mean, how competitive is it for the in-state schools this year?
I think Georgia Tech's done a hell of a job. I think Tay Harris is a guy that we've all seen. I mean, I love Tay Harris, a kid I've known for, 4 years now, 3.5 years. I remember Nick Chubb called me, and Nick's real quiet. And Nick said, hey, man, this is the next one. He goes, listen now, he likes social media. But Tay Harris, certainly a baller, and that was a huge flip for Georgia Tech. Josh Petty, obviously a lot of talk there about him out of Fellowship Christian. That was a huge win. Dalen Pinson, young man out of Sandy Creek, he sticks with Georgia Tech. So this is what I tell Georgia Tech fans. I know that game last week hurt, and Najee and I were in that box. It was one of the wildest things I think I've ever seen. I think, Georgia Tech could have easily won that game, but they're winning some recruiting battles. And, I said this all along. They don't have to beat Georgia a lot, but to start beating South Carolina and start beating Auburn and some of these other schools and Clemson, man, that is a huge deal for Brent Key and what they're doing at Georgia Tech.
And then in terms of this recruiting class that has already signed, I feel like the offensive line has a lot of great prospects. Cortez Smith from Parkview, some great interior linemen. Just talk about just the group of linemen coming from the state that Georgia's been able to land.
I think the one that we all know, we've seen a couple of times, is Juan Gadsden. I think people look at him and it's like he's going to play guard. I disagree. I've seen Juan Gadsden. He's a former AAU basketball player. Georgia has been able to make it work with bigger guys. You look at Isaiah Wilson a couple of years ago. He was 370, 360. I think Juan Gadsden's going to play at 6'7.5", 350 pounds. I think Mason Short is a kid that gets underrated because there's no drama around him. Young man out of Evans High School. He's played in the Georgia Elite Classic twice for us. We've had him. I've had him at multiple MVP camps. He was a former Alabama commit when Nick Saban left. He opened things up, and Georgia was able to capitalize on that. I mean, he was one of the first ones to send his paperwork in today, no drama. So, those kids that don't go through all the stuff, all the social media, sometimes get kind of, left behind, so to speak. But don't forget about kids like that. Cortez Smith, this guy's we had him on at Marietta. He was 13 years old as a starting center at Marietta High School. I mean, this guy was 13 years old playing high school football. And it's crazy where he is now.
And then, Rusty, besides, obviously, Usman Kroma and him flipping to Florida State, is there any other in-state flips that has shocked you so far?
Lagonza Hayward out of Toombs County, him flipping from Tennessee, I just know Georgia was in on him hard. And I know our Tennessee guys at VolQuest, I stayed in communication with those guys a lot, and they were certain that Lagonza Hayward, and I was too, I was like, this guy's staying in Tennessee. This guy's going to stay. And all of a sudden, Sunday, he decommits. Come to find out, he's kind of on a secret visit to Florida, and the Gators get him today. So there's been a couple of those. You know what I mean? There's been a couple of those types of things where kids flipping late. I know Braden Jacobs at Milton, people were trying to flip him. He stayed with Clemson. I think his dad was pretty vocal and said somebody offered him $1 million, and he stuck with Clemson. So I don't know if Rusty Mansell sticks for $1 million. I'm 18 years old, so credit to those kids and that character in them. But it's a different day and age, man. And I'll tell you this, one thing I've learned, and I'm always learning myself, I didn't realize the kind of, and don't take this the wrong way because this is the way it is today. The agents were working Georgia, all of them that I know that are high level, they all have agents. They all have marketing teams already. So, the agents last night, they were on the phone working deals. It was almost like an NFL, trade deadline, a free agency deadline, for lack of a better term. And I know that's going to rouse some people up, but it doesn't matter. That's reality. And these agents are a big deal now in high school football, especially with these contracts and rev shares coming up.
Now, I know it was this is not related to Georgia, but I did want to get your thoughts on this, Rusty. What were your thoughts on the flip from Alex Payne of Gainesville, him flipping from North Carolina to USC? Did that surprise you at all?
Not really. With the way the trajectory of North Carolina, AJ Crua at Marietta High School flipped to Georgia. I think North Carolina had a really good class, but Alex Payne was a kid. The first time we had Alex Payne was at Georgia Elite Classic. He was a sophomore. And I remember standing in Barron Stadium, Matt Luke, who is now the offensive line coach at Clemson. We had all these kids there. And we had Alex Payne, who had great feet, but he didn't really have the weight right now. And I remember Matt Luke looking at me and going, that kid right there in 2 years is going to be a high-level recruit. He's got great frame and great feet. He needed to gain weight. And so he did, and he kind of exploded over the next 2 years. And doesn't surprise me, man. North Carolina, obviously, with Mac Brown, that thing was heading south pretty quickly.
100%, Rusty. And then want to ask you just a little bit about just the recruiting here in the state of Georgia. For those that don't know, you've been covering this state for a long time. What makes guys in this state so great and they can contribute on the next level? An example, Rusty, KJ Bolden already getting a lot of playing time for Georgia. Malachi Starks a few years ago for the Georgia program. What makes this such a great state to recruit in?
Coaches and kids compete, man. You go look at the Under Armour camp, and that's the biggest camp in America because the kids in Georgia are going to go compete. Some of these kids are not going to. They don't want to get exposed. I have been a co-owner of MVP camps now for 14 years. And, our camps sell out because kids want to compete. Coaching in the state of Georgia is a big deal. I had a college coach tell me one time, and it's always stuck with me. He goes, Rusty, the kids from Florida might be a little bit more athletic, but the kids in Georgia are ready to play. And you look around the country, it doesn't take a secret to look around. I mean, you look at Tech last year, Eric Singleton and the tackle young man out of Lassiter High School. I know his name's escaped me right now, but he plays a true freshman at Georgia Tech. You look at KJ Bolden, who's playing as a true freshman, and these kids are ready to play when they get into college. And I think that's a real tribute to communities that invest. But I really think it comes down to our coaching and our weight programs and those types of things. Look at Sammy Brown at Clemson. Obviously, his dad, Mike Brown, runs a great program there at Jefferson, and Sammy Brown was ready to roll when he got there. He just had to learn how to play that defense. But once he learned, he stepped in that role. He's been the guy at Clemson.
And then with the Chroma flip, do you feel like that opens up an opportunity for Georgia to potentially seek another back to fill out this 2025 class?
It's a cordon. I know that they have two kids. I told this story on the radio. I remember sitting in Norcross when Alvin Kamara committed to Alabama on National Signing Day 2013, something like that. 2013 it was. And I remember going, boy, that one is going to hurt. That one's going to hurt. And about 3 days later, I got a phone call from somebody in that building. They go, hey, man, that sucked. But we got a kid named Sony Michel who's a silent commit. It's going to come out in a couple of weeks. And Sony Michel was in the next class. So, that you really want a player like Chroma. I don't want to sugarcoat it, but Georgia's got 2 or 3 major targets. Young man, Savion Hyder out of Virginia, who I think is the #1 running back in America. He has made 3 visits, I think, in the last 7 weeks to Athens. You got a young man, Derek Cooper, who might be the #2 running back in America. He has been to Georgia multiple times. So, Georgia's going to be fine. I think they might have to take a running back for some depth, but I don't ever foresee Georgia just really hurting. But I do not want to sugarcoat losing a player like Chroma. If he indeed signs with Florida State and finishes this thing off, that's going to be a loss because both of you guys know every time Lee County had a big game, he had his best games. And I know this for being in it so long. When you produce in big games, that checks out on the next level.
100%. Now, Rusty, I want you to get prepared before we let you get out of here. I want you to talk about the Clash of the Titans. You're going to be calling the game. Tell these folks at home that are watching the show today why this is such a good game and why they need to tune in on Peachtree Sports Network tomorrow night, or Friday night, at 8 p.m.
Don't take this no disrespect, Najee, but if you don't know how good a game Lee County Milton is, you probably don't need to watch it because that is grown man football. That is two well-coached football teams. That is two schools that can play with anybody in the country. It's kind of contrasting styles. Milton, high-paced. They got T.J. Lester they run the ball with, but with Luke Nickel, they can throw it all over the field. They got two kids that signed with Georgia today at wide receiver. They got a tight end signed with Auburn. But you look at Lee County and how physical they are. Lee County certainly was the best team in South Georgia. They're coming up here to play the defending state champs in Milton. I cannot wait to get there. I'm ready to go right now. I know that place is going to be buzzing. It is going to be a grown man football game. Cannot wait. I think everybody's had this game circled. When the brackets came out, everybody had this Lee County Milton game circled.
And it's hard to pick against either of those teams, Rusty. Najee was talking about Weston Bryan, though, Lee County's quarterback.
Yeah,
what
man.
excites you about him?
Everybody's going to get to see him, dude. This guy's a problem. You talking about a dual-threat bowling ball? This guy's, 6'3", 220, what they list him at? I don't think Milton's faced anybody like this. And I say this, when you go into a game, and maybe Milton on paper has a little bit more talent than Lee County, maybe. But can you get a talent equalizer like the young man at the quarterbacks at Vanderbilt? He makes them so much better, gives you so much more problems. This kid's he's going to touch the ball on every single play. Milton's got the work cut out for him. This guy is physical. This guy can throw. And I think a lot of people are going to watch this game Friday night and go, wait a minute. This kid's been here the whole time. He is a different dude. I don't know that Milton has faced anybody like this and the problems that they're going to face with him, the concerns. I know that Coach Reeves and those guys, they're very good on defense. Man, they're nasty on defense, but they're going to face something they haven't faced this year, so I'm very interested in how that plays out.
100%. And Rusty, to just kind of usher your point more, he's actually just got bumped up to a 4-star, Weston Bryan. So he has a lot of eyes on him. But, Rusty, we appreciate you telling us a little bit about Georgia and the in-state, and always appreciate your time. We know you're a busy guy. Keep that phone charged, Rusty.
It's plugged in today. It's on day it's plugged in, but I ain't unplugged it all day.
100%. All right, Rusty.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Yes, sir. All right, guys, coming up, we'll have Evan Ward, who announced his commitment right here on Peachtree Sports Network.
Deep shot for London. He makes the catch. Shot for Pierce, and who else but Jesse Bates? Moore fires through. Touchdown Atlanta. That goes nowhere. Find the pylon for the Atlanta touchdown. He's sacked for the end zone. And touchdown Atlanta. What a throw.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Najeh Wilkins along with Craig Sager. So we just talked to Rusty Mansell of Dawgs HQ as he prepared us for the game we got on Friday night. But we got another guest to end us off for the show for today, Evan Ward. He was able to get out of school early, so we really appreciate him allowing him to do this. Shout out to the folks in the background, Mom and Dad. Thank you guys so much for having Evan on here and announcing this decision. How's everybody doing?
Good. Very well.
Doing good. All right, sounds good. Now, look, before we get to the decision, I want you to tell the folks a little bit just about your football journey, how you could been able to get to this point. Evan, I know you were unranked. Then you end up becoming a 3-star 247 Sports. A lot of colleges wanted you. Just talk about your journey a little bit.
So I actually started playing football probably my 7th grade year. And then before I was doing upward, so then I was just flag football. I didn't know if I really want to play real football for real. But my dad he was in the NFL. He would play for Kentucky. So that's what really wanted me to go. So then my first 9th grade year, I was at Lanier Christian School through 10th. So, and then after that, my junior year, I was at Sandy Creek, but then I had some, we had to move. Yeah, we had to move. So then there was an issue between there, and I couldn't play for a long time. So then McIntosh brought me in. So then I played a full season there, did really good, and just balled out.
100%. Talk about some of the lessons your pops taught you. Obviously, you went to Kentucky, played in the league. What were some things he was teaching you as you was coming up and learning?
Just the grind. You got to love the grind just to actually love the sport. And I felt like that really helped me throughout this whole thing, this whole process, because I feel like if you didn't really love the sport, then it'll be really hard. But I really love the sport, and it's something I really want to be great in.
100%. All right, let's fast forward to this year. Another phenomenal year. 83 tackles, 11 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss. You were dominant on both sides of the ball. Just talk about how you were able to have such a big year for McIntosh.
I just felt like I had to step up since this was my senior year. I just never want to settle for less. Just want to keep going bigger and bigger to my season. I just felt like I can just definitely improve and be a good leader for McIntosh, even though that was my first year, and just step up for the guys. Because I just made a lot of relationships with the brothers and everybody and the coaches down there at McIntosh, and I feel like I felt him fit in really good.
100%. I want you to talk about this play real quick. You had a game-winning sack this past year. Just what's going through your head on that play? That's game-breaking stuff that you're doing right there on that play. The crowd went crazy. I know we've rolling more clips of yours, but just talk about that game-winning sack you had.
I just felt like I needed to make a play. I just felt like that was a play I needed to be making at the level I was trying to reach, that's going to transfer to the next level for college.
And then, Evan, you got tremendous size. We saw in the film right there. You got a lot of speed, too. So talk to us just about the speed you bring to the game.
I feel like that brings a big factor. I can use it many different ways, whether I'm rushing the passer or I'm dropping back in coverage, guarding the tight end or running back. I feel I can play it all.
And then in terms of setting the edge, what about McIntosh was maybe different than previous schools you played for? How did you have to adapt your role this year?
So McIntosh was really good for my position. They played me pretty far outside, so I can really get a good pass rush. And I just felt like that was really good for me, work some moves, and I feel like I exceeded in it really good.
And you were able to take some official visits throughout this season. The recruiting process has been probably a long process for you, but being at a new school and still trying to figure out where you're going to go, how tough was that to just balance this year?
I mean, it was tough, but I felt like I needed to do what I needed to do to get to the level so they didn't have to pay for my college. Not just because of that, but just because I actually wanted to play football for a good team.
Now, Evan, don't reveal where you're committing to, but I do want to ask you a little bit about what is something you maybe want to major in school. I know obviously you're going to be great on the field and off the field, but education-wise, what are some things that's piqued your interest so far?
Physical therapy. I would like a good physical therapy program. I feel like since I'm doing physical therapy and it somewhat correlates to football, so then if I get hurt, hoping I don't, I still have physical therapy to include myself with football, and I would never leave the game, really.
All right, now before I let you make a decision, I want to ask you one more question. What advice would you give others, same kind of journey that you had to continue to grind it out, get to this level? What advice would you give other kids that was like underrated, but finally started getting that praise and started having colleges call them?
Just keep going. I mean, it's going to take time. That's all it is. Just keep grinding, keep going, and you're eventually going to get there. It's a matter of time. It's a time game, honestly. And just try not to look at these other guys committing because it's a process. They went through the same process. Some of them got offers early, but God has a different plan for other people. You're going to follow that plan.
100%. Well, all right, Evan, the floor is yours. I'm going to let you thank whoever you want to thank, moms, pops, the whole family, just whoever helped you get to this point. The floor is yours.
So, honestly, I just want to thank my parents. They brought me here, came a long way. I want to thank my teammates, my coaches from Landmark, Sandy Creek. Even though I was at Sandy Creek for that long, I want to thank them. I want to thank my McIntosh coaches, Coach Smith, Coach Black, Coach Tucker, Coach Reagan, my position coaches, head coaches. Thank you. I want to thank all of them. I also want to thank my teammates, McIntosh teammates. They really brought me in like a family after just coming in for only a year. So without that being said, I would like to spend making plays at Nah. Nah, I'm like, I like this. University of Virginia.
Hey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Congrats, man, on the commitment to Virginia ACC school. As you reveal it right there with the hoodie, man. So you took an official visit, I believe, or you took a visit, I'll say, nonetheless, November 25th. That was not that long ago. What did you and your family enjoy the most when you went on a visit to Virginia? Why do you feel like it was a school for you?
They just treated us like family, like we were already on the team. And I feel like it felt like I had a genuine connection, like I already knew them. And I just feel like I can bond with them, and not only the coaches, but the teammates. Because when we went out, that was a really fun time. I feel like I bonded with them really good, and I really can bond with them once I get up there.
100%. Talk about your relationship with defensive ends coach Chris Slade. What has he kind of meant to you in developing that relationship? Obviously, they treated like family, but what's that relationship kind of been like with him in developing that?
Oh, he cares about me, not just in football, but in life as a man. He's a really funny guy. I actually like him a lot. I feel I can really bond with him as well. He is just really straight up in a good way, but it's definitely going to help me in the long run.
And then how do they kind of see you fitting in? I know now you use a lot of your speed to kind of get around guys. You can also use your hands. You have really good pass rush moves as well. But how do they kind of see you fitting in? When you play similar to what you're playing now with McIntosh, when you play a little bit of outside backer, how do they kind of see you fitting into that defense?
They see me playing as, I think if the position was a hybrid, so where I'm on the edge, but then sometimes they'll have me playing back, guarding a running back or the tight end with using my speed. Because they told me they needed speed. I fit in the scheme really good. Just get into the quarterback and they just need a dog.
Let me ask you a little bit more about that if you don't mind elaborating. When you were playing with McIntosh, did they ask you to do a lot of that, or would that be kind of a little bit of an adjustment for you, just playing a little bit, you showcasing using your speed to also guard, running backs, tight ends, et cetera?
I mean, it's nothing different. I played outside linebacker for a little bit, the whole year, 11th grade, so it's nothing different. They just found that I could rush the passer, so it's just nothing different. It's nothing different at all, really.
And then you got the parents with you right now. I'm assuming you guys were all on the same page just after that visit. I mean, how excited is the whole family?
Everybody's pumped up. We bought a bunch of Virginia gear. Everybody geared up. We excited.
And that's a school, I mean, a lot of rich history. They really love athletics up there. It's going to be massive crowds. What's the number one thing you're excited about just being a college athlete?
Just that it's ACC ball. I mean, like, that's what we've been dreaming about just since a kid. So I feel like me accomplishing this goal, it's not just me accomplishing this goal now. I still have to go to the NFL. So that's why I feel like they can just really build me up and get there.
And then what's next just in this window of time before you get to show up and just hit the ground running? What are you going to do just to best prepare yourself?
Just keep working out. I mean, I'm getting with a bunch of guys, teammates that's not going till summer. We're just working out, competing, getting ready to play for them.
And then are any of these workouts going to involve some of the other Georgia guys that are going to be going up there with you?
Yeah. There's a commitment down there at Woodward. I'm going to hit him up. So he's committed. He's a receiver. So he's not too far. We can definitely come together and come work out.
And then I just want to ask you, just the direction the program is going in. Obviously, you're playing ACC ball. Just what have you seen in terms of that and the direction that they're going? How excited you are to kind of be one of those guys that gets this program where they want to be?
The guys are just dogs. I mean, they want it and they get it. They know what it takes and they just grind. And that's what I feel like the environment that I need to be around to really strive and get to the level I want to get.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, we're talking about Virginia, but what was your favorite thing in your senior year playing with McIntosh? What did you enjoy the most that you're going to always remember and kind of be a core memory of yours playing high school ball here in Georgia?
Just a brother. I mean, I really do enjoy all my friends at McIntosh, all my teammates. I mean, they just make everything fun. Whether if we're just conditioning or just doing something easy to try to make it a little fun in it while still getting into work. So I'm going to miss that a lot.
100%. Last one, we'll let you get out here. Evan, I know you got a big special day. Just kind of you talked about working out and everything, but what's kind of the timeline? Are you going to be an early enrollee or will you be going in February? What's kind of the timeline that you kind of get ready to go head off to Virginia?
I'm a summer guy. I'm not enrolling early.
Okay, gotcha. So you'll be in the summer. Okay, 100%, man. Well, Evan, I want to say thank you. Thank you to moms. Thank you to your pops as well. Just being able to have you on here and make the decision. Y'all are the best. I appreciate you coming on for early National Signing Day and our special here in the studio. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, there goes Evan Ward. We got a little bit more time before we wrap for the rest of the day, but I do want to throw it to Craig and bring him along with me on this. Just what's been your favorite moment for the day? It felt like these 2 hours flew by. Like we were just talking early on about with Turner Davis and him committing to Charles Southern, but what's been your favorite moment of the day?
It's got to be the classic fake hat. Just pretending to put it on. It wouldn't be signing day without that.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of just, kind of get you on edge. Will he commit here? Will he go there? No, I 100% agree. Yeah, I think for me, my favorite moment I enjoyed the most, probably having an in-studio guest. I mean, I think that was the first time I've ever done that as far as in person. Like, I've done Jeremiah Tickett's early one, but just having him here on TV, that is a different vibe in its totality. But I had fun, enjoyed learning more about Tomas' story and what he's been through and how he's kind of got to that point. I think that was really just fulfilling and refreshing to hear. Yeah, 3 great stories. Whether it's just getting to McIntosh your first year, blowing up, having an incredible senior year, what Lanier was able to do. Yeah, I'm excited for them. The in-studio guests were tremendous. Hopefully, other sports, they can come in and commit. Anyone can hit us up. Yeah, 100%. So, guys, you know what to do. That's going to kind of wrap us up for today. We appreciate you guys checking out our early National Signing Day special. It was a lot of fun being here with Craig Sager. Thanks to Max Walborski as well for coming on with the flips, recruitments, and everything. Hayden Gilbert as well for coming on and giving us the latest with underrated players as well. But that's all we got. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back at our regular time, 12 to 1 tomorrow at Georgia High School Sports Daily. Don't want to miss it. We will see you guys soon.